There's a big chance the Pokemon anime just teased Liko's next Pokemon catch, and it is seriously the most perfect choice ever imaginable. So much so that if it actually happens, I think the entire community is gonna lose their minds. Almost to a degree comparable to when Ash caught a Dragonite in Pokemon Journeys. It's that caliber of Pokemon, man, because I seriously, wholeheartedly believe Liko is about to catch a Milotic, and the amount of substantial proof stacking up fast will absolutely surprise you, from preview trailers to deeper character reasons to even actual leaks hinting at it too. We could be about to witness one of the greatest rating decisions in the entire show. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and now let's talk about it. So first of all, let's quickly talk about the Wonder Voyage arc itself, because this upcoming arc is in a really unique position for Horizons. The main storyline that the anime spent over 3 years building up towards is finally over. Spinel was defeated, the Laqueum was erased, the Laqua is safe now, and as a result our heroes are no longer dedicating every second of their lives to stopping the end of the world anymore. This means Wonder Voyage is way more of like an epilogue arc, with our characters finally getting the chance to breathe, travel the Pokemon world, enjoy life, and most importantly they finally get to refocus on themselves as trainers. And honestly, I think that's exactly what Horizons needed. Because of how big and grand and linear and serious the overarching storyline of Horizons was, our heroes themselves have taken a bit of a backseat in terms of their progression. There hasn't been much time for anything other than the main storyline to push forwards, and that's been a big criticism of the series for a while now, especially in regards to how underdeveloped it makes the main characters and their Pokemon teams feel. Right now, Liko only has 3 Pokemon, Meowscarada, Hatterene and Armarouge, and Roy only has 3 Pokemon too, Skeledirge, Kilowattrel and Lucario. Dot only has 3 Pokemon, Quaquaval, Tinkaton and Goldengo, and our boy Ult only has 2, Sableye and Dragonite. When you compare that to the older Pokemon animes where the main protagonists gradually built full teams of 6 over time, it's so clear that Horizons has been really restrained in the Pokemon captures. But now Wonder Voyage has finally set the stage for the writers to explore things they couldn't before. More character-focused stuff, more personal goal-focused stuff, including the main heroes finally catching more Pokemon. And I think the anime may have just dropped a bombshell reveal of what Liko's next Pokemon is gonna be, because in the new Wonder Voyage trailer there's a scene where our heroes are fishing for Pokemon, and Liko ends up hooking a Feebas, and then she even battles the Feebas with Meowscarada too. Now obviously if I was sitting here trying to tell you that Liko encountering a Feebas automatically means she's gonna get a Milotic, then yeah, I'd completely understand if you guys all thought I was reaching ridiculously hard. A wild Pokemon encounter on its own is not proof that Liko will catch it, but luckily the reason I'm making this video is because there's way more proof than just that. First of all, let's talk about everything related to Liko's character which makes Milotic feel so probable and perfect. Liko's dream as a trainer, her actual dream, is to understand the feelings and emotions of Pokemon so she can help them. That was super clearly established back in episode 21 of Horizons. That was the moment where Liko truly found her own path as a trainer. Unfortunately, the writers did kinda push that dream into the background for most of Horizons. It was barely explored, which is a huge shame. And that's obviously because most of the story became focused on Pogogo, Laqua, the 6 heroes, Spinel, the Laqueum. So as a result, Liko's personal dream took a big backseat to the main ongoing plot. But even so, if you look at Liko's Pokemon team, most of her Pokemon are directly connected to her dream, thematically. Meowscarada releases a sweet aroma that calms and relaxes the emotions of Pokemon. Pogogo's entire role in the story was purifying the violent emotional corruption caused by Laqueum, and Hatterene is literally the embodiment of emotions. Her entire story arc was built around that. At first, she was terrified of strong feelings, she could sense them constantly, she also had a storyline of being worried about other Pokemon's feelings, and then eventually she became strong enough to physically beat overwhelming emotions out of Pokemon, before using her powers to heal them and soothe their emotions afterwards. So yeah, as you can see, the writers very intentionally built Liko's Pokemon team around themes of emotions and feelings to match her dream. So if Wonder Voyage is finally prioritizing the characters and their own personal dreams again, like it seems to be, then giving Liko another Pokemon connected to emotions makes total sense. It could remind her of her dream, help her pursue it even further, and that finally brings us to Milotic. Because dude, Milotic might genuinely be the single most fitting Pokemon ever imaginable for Liko's character, because Milotic's entire existence, its entire purpose, its entire lore aligns with Liko's dream perfectly. Just listen to some of Milotic's Pokedex entries real quick. It has the power to calm emotions, such as anger and hostility. It's able to soften anger and hatred by emitting soothing frequencies. It releases a pulsing wave of energy that brings soothing calm to restless spirits. Those who see it forget their combative emotions. They appear where conflict is imminent, calming people's hearts. When people bicker, it arises from the depths of lakes to calm their hearts. It soothes minds and hearts. Those who behold it are said to have their hearts purified. It comes up from the bottom of its lake habitat to calm any angry feelings. Do you see what I mean now, dude? For 25 years now, Milotic has consistently been portrayed as the Pokemon associated with calming emotions, soothing hostility, helping others emotionally, and that is literally Liko's entire dream. A Milotic would genuinely be a game changer in helping Liko understand and soothe the emotions of other Pokemon, better than any other Pokemon in the entire franchise. So the fact that the anime specifically chose her to encounter a Feebas right as the Wonder Voyage arc begins focusing on personal growth again, I really don't think that's random, man. And dude, the potential storyline writes itself. Imagine Liko catching a Feebas that feels insecure or ashamed of itself because of its appearance, a Pokemon that feels ugly, unwanted, weak, pathetic, and then Liko can try and understand Feebas and try and help it. She can help it grow more confident in itself, help it realize its own worth, its own power, its own beauty, and then eventually that emotional growth would lead to Feebas evolving into a beautiful Milotic. That would be incredible, dude, because then Liko's Milotic itself could become a reflection of Liko's ideals. A Pokemon who understands what it's like to struggle emotionally, and then after Liko helps it to become a Milotic, it then wants to use its newfound powers as a Milotic to help other Pokemon too with their emotions. It could want to do for other Pokemon what Liko did for it. That would be such a beautiful storyline for Liko and Milotic. It fits so perfectly that I really struggle to believe the writers haven't thought about it. And there's still one massive other thing that makes this theory feel even more absurdly believable. So real quick, I'm going to briefly talk about a leak regarding a future mini-arc in the Wonder Voyage arc, and it's not some massive, shocking spoiler or anything. If you do want to avoid even small leaks entirely, then skip to the timestamp on screen right now. So one of the credible leakers who I've mentioned in a past video accurately leaked a ton of Wonder Voyage information months before it was officially revealed. He accurately leaked the mobile game crossover stuff, Koraidon and Miraidon, the Treasures of Ruin, Ogerpon's crew, the Ditto Girl. He got all of that right way in advance. And in that same leak he also said that a mini-arc in Wonder Voyage that we're gonna get soon is a Pokemon contest arc, like proper Hoenn and Sinnoh style contests, the kind May and Dawn competed in. We're getting the return of contests in Pokemon Horizons, man. This is pretty much as close to confirmed that a leak can be for the anime. I'm certain it's gonna happen, dude. And if it does, then the Liko getting a Milotic theory suddenly becomes way more likely, man. Because Milotic is the quintessential contest Pokemon in the entire franchise. It's basically the mascot of Pokemon contests, both in the anime and in the games. In the games, Feebas evolves into Milotic through beauty mechanics tied directly to Pokemon contests. Out of all 1000 plus Pokemon in existence, Milotic is the only one that evolves in relation to Pokemon contests. Milotic is the contest Pokemon. So now we suddenly have Liko encountering and battling a Feebas, Liko refocusing on her dream about emotions, a future contest arc happening, and what do you know, Feebas into Milotic? That is the ultimate Pokemon for her dream and for contests. That is way too much to just ignore. I feel like too many stars are aligning for me to believe it's all a coincidence. So yeah, I genuinely believe Horizons may have just teased the most perfect Pokemon ever for Liko. She can catch the Feebas, she fishes up, help it overcome its emotional issues and give it confidence, evolve it into Milotic through Pokemon contests, and then have a Milotic with the emotion healing powers to help her progress her own dream, to understand Pokemon's feelings. Of course, nothing's confirmed until it actually happens, maybe the Feebas really is just a random one-off encounter, maybe I'm overanalyzing everything like a crazy conspiracy theorist, but dude, there's enough evidence here that I really think it warranted a full video discussion. So let me know your thoughts below. Do you think Liko will get a Feebas, evolve it into a Milotic? Or alternatively, what Pokemon do you want Liko to catch in Wonder Voyage? Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and come join our Discord server using the link in the description. Thank you so much to all of my incredible channel members on screen right now. That includes the Fekerlax fam and fanatics like Jascadia, Toten, Not Mini, Hope, Shareborn, Jay. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again!